Wow. And watching it all with us in our New York studio, criminal defense attorney Brian Konosky. Brian, this is a defense attorney's nightmare, this case, I say. Number one is that once you learn the defendant's mental health history, you as a good defense lawyer might want to go forward with an insanity defense, but you can't if the defendant says, I didn't do it.
No, and that's what's, I understand that this is the best defense, but it's unfortunate in this case for the defendant himself. The best defense in this case is an insanity defense, and if I were sitting in that chair and I was cross-examining the father, I'd feel horrible because knowing the facts of this case, it just looks really bad for the defendant. And you have to do the best you can under the circumstances. If the client doesn't want it and the client is fit to stand trial, then you can't bring it.
It's one of those things that I think people who are not lawyers have such a hard time understanding or accepting, because the idea that you or I, as a criminal defense lawyer, could be forced into a position where you have to cross-examine this father who has suffered such a great loss. But it is the theory of the case that your client has given you, and your client has said to you, look, I don't care what you say to me, I did not do this. And look at what my dad did. I mean, my dad's the person who pointed to the bloodstains and put stickers there. My dad's the person who came and was standing by my pickup truck. My dad did this. My dad did that. And so you're jammed. You have got to go with what the defendant gives you.
Right, exactly. Look, if I'm the defense attorney on the case and I have to go forward on this case, I have a job to do, and my job is to effectively and competently represent my client. I may not necessarily think that it's the best defense around, but that's the defense my client has raised, and I have an obligation to go forward. I may not like cross-examining the father on the case, might not like the cross-examination I'm going to do, might not like the fact that I'm going to bring up emotions from the father, but it's my job, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability, and at the end of the day, some people may say, you know, how do you sleep well at night? And I do, because I'm upholding the Constitution, and that's what's really important in all this as a defense attorney, is you do your job and you do it well, because the Constitution requires competent defense counsel for everybody, regardless of how much money you have, and that's what you have to do. It's what you have to do.
I can't tell you how many airplane rides that I have been on, and you get into a conversation with someone, and this is before I came to In Session, formerly Court TV, when I was practicing like you are full-time on the defense side after I'd been a prosecutor, and you know, it's always that, how do you represent those people? And I would say that my job is to have the government be put to the test of proving their case beyond a reasonable doubt. And if they do, they deserve to win. But if they don't, under our Constitution, they cannot and should not win.
Absolutely. The way I like to look at it is, if I'm a boulder, the prosecution has to move me out of the way. If they can't move me out of the way, then they shouldn't win. That's reasonable doubt. They have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. If they can't get beyond me, the wall in the way of that, then they shouldn't win. And that prevents, or it's supposed to prevent, innocent people from going to jail.
Well, I haven't heard that expression in that way, but if you don't mind, can I use it?
Feel free.
Thank you very much. Well, it's time for us to take a break, so that gives you a minute to head over to your computer. You can send me an email, and you know that I love to hear from you. Let me know what you think about the trial of Thomas Fast. What is his best defense? You can log on to cnn.com/crime, click on Best Defense, and as always, I'll read some of the best emails later on in the show.